I miss some shots. Yeah. So as you can see with the Vector, with the way I have it set up right now, the body shots crit for 27,000 right there. The headshots crit for 47, and that's with the build that I have, and that's not counting the pulse, which actually can't really be using. Or oh, it worked for a second. You can't really see the bonus numbers with that. So now I'll just talk about armor and stuff really quickly. Right now I use this chest piece right here. It has a talent called Reckless. Increases damage by 12.5% and increase incoming damage by 10%. So this is made for your glass cannon build, as I've been told it's called. That just wants to do a bunch of damage, but really can't take a lot of damage. But right now, this chest piece is bugged in the fact that it actually doesn't increase the damage you take by 10%, where it in fact decreases the damage by 10%. And how I can see that is when I go down to survivability, which is again on your character sheet, it has all these stats about your health, your armor. Right now I have about 55% armor mitigation. The maximum that you can get is 65%. And armor mitigation is really important. Basically, just if someone's shooting me with a gun that does 10,000 damage, I'm only going to take 4,500 of that damage because of the 55% armor mitigation. And so if you have 40% armor mitigation, you'd be taking 6,000. So it becomes very important both in the dark zone and just normal. But the way that I know the Reckless talent is bugged is you can go down and it has this thing right here that says all damage resilience, and it's additional damage mitigation against all damage except environmental. And I have 10% there, and if I do not have that chest piece on, let's see, let me put on this chest piece. If I do not have that chest piece on, then that extra 10% damage resilience is not there. So right now, the Reckless talent is very, very, very powerful. Probably overpowerful, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if they fix that soon. And so, also on my chest piece here, I have extra armor. Chest pieces can roll with extra armor, and as I said, armor mitigation becomes very, very important in the end game. I didn't pay much attention to it at first, and I suffered, and I'm glad I was able to raise it. And on my chest, I also like to get on my chest piece the plus 41% ammo capacity, because when you're doing the challenges or in the dark zone, it's really important to make sure you have a good stock of ammo, especially on your marksman rifle. You can run out very quickly. And this chest piece that I have actually has 2 mod slots, and you can actually get chest pieces that have up to 3 mod slots. But only level 31 chest pieces, such as this one, can have up to 3 mod slots. In order to get one with 3 mod slots, you'd have to craft one that already has 2 mod slots in it, and then you could re-roll one of those major attributes into an extra mod slot. So you'd have no major attributes, but you'd have 3 mod slots, which, depending on your playstyle and what you're trying to go for, might be something you want to do. But on this one, I have 2 chest pieces actually with Reckless, and this one's a level 31, so it actually increases the damage by 13%. And the reason I don't use this one though is because right now I have a lot of stamina. As you can see, this other one has stamina, and so I'm using this even though it gives me a little less damage because it's only item level 30. But that's okay with me because I have these 2 other mods in there. I have 2 stamina mods that each are going to give me more stamina and giving me more health overall. And then also on both of those stamina mods, because all mods that you make, stamina, firearms, electronics, are going to roll with a little perk. So, like for example, this one, it gives me the stamina itself is 132. And the attribute that this one comes with is extra health. And that one also comes with extra health. Let's see. Skill haste, signature ability, resource gain, health, armor. There's lots of different stuff that they can come with. So let me go down to my mask right now. Right now, the mask that I'm using, one of the major reasons that I'm using it is for its major attribute right here. It gives me plus 4,000 skill power. And it's also a stamina mask. So with that, I get a lot of health, and then I get 4,000 added to that skill power. So if I wasn't wearing this mask with skill power, I would drop down right there to like 16,000, and so I sacrificed a little bit of critical hit chance because that's what can roll in that category. But I sacrificed that to get the skill power, which I'll get to skill power soonish. Let's see. And right now, there's another thing that's bugged right now. This talent rehabilitated heals 2 second during every or heals 2% every second during status effects. Status effects are when you get set on fire, hit by a flashbang, basically any type of grenade, anything that's going to make you kind of stop and stutter. And the reason it's broken right now is you can, once you get affected by a status effect, even after it goes away, it's going to continually heal you until you die, I believe. So you can start a challenge mode or go in the dark zone. You can flashbang yourself immediately, and you're going to end up having extra healing the whole time. So I haven't actually tried this out myself yet because this mask right here was an electronics mask. And as you can see, if I equip it, my skill power and DPS will go up a little bit, but I'm going to drop them as 15,000 health, which is not something that I want to do right now. Although I'd probably be fine with 71,000. I'm really enjoying having this tanky build with 86,000. So let me go down to my knee pads. The talent they have, item find and credit find bonuses are increased by 25%. That's, there's probably better talents on the knee pads. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but it's I got the reckless talent, so that's really what I was aiming for. Oh, excuse me, the coffee went down the wrong hole. All right. And also on my knee pads here, you can see one of the major attributes is critical hit damage, and so that's going to add plus 16 critical hit damage to any weapon that you're using. It'll show up in your character sheet, added there with all the other ones. I really like to have those on my knee pads because having critical hit chance and critical damage is gonna raise everything up. Your DPS wise. Let's see, what are these other knee pads that I have? I think these are some ones I picked up last night and haven't really even looked at it all. But also on these, I have bleed resistance. A lot of that. When you bleed, it stops you from running and being able to climb, which can be very important in the dark zone when you're trying to run from people that are hunting you down because you decided to like kill some players or something, and everyone's angry at you. I don't know, but they'll try and make you bleed so you can't run, and so I have a lot of bleed resistance on that. I also have plus 42% increased kill XP. Even though I'm, level 30 now, I like to use that when I'm in the dark zone to get the extra experience to help me rank up there. And on this one, I have a electronics mod, so that's going to give me some more points in electronics, and also gives me a little extra armor. Which so if I was to take that mod off, you'd see the armor drops down to 711 right there on that one. So let's see. Oh, and I don't know if I covered the mod on this mask. Yeah, on my mask, I have a mod. It's a firearms mod, so I get the 123 points in firearms. But it also gives me another 1,300 skill power. So if I was to take that off, it drop me down to just over 20k skill power. So, and let's go on to the backpack, I guess, that I'm using right now. The skill on it is increased skill power by 13% while the signature skill is active. That's an okay one. It's just very specific signature skills, only come up every, 6-8 minutes. They take a while to cool down. But the main reason I use this backpack is it has very high firearms. Even if I was to take that 136 out, what is this? What is this at? Actually, without it, it's at 563. The highest level 31 can roll is 575. So having one at 563 stats in my firearms is very, very helpful. So, and let's see, one of the major reasons I use this again is because this is going to give me plus 4,900 skill power. And so I have barely over 1,000 electronics, but with all the things that I have that add together, it brings my skill power to near 22,000. And then another thing that I like on this, all of them have skill attributes, and a lot of my armor I don't really have what I like, but I use pulse a lot, so having this pulse critical hit damage bonus is nice to use on this backpack. And then I have other backpacks as well. As you can see, if you compare these two, backpack is another thing that can roll with critical hit damage, but I sacrifice the 15% critical hit damage for the additional skill power on this balanced build that I was aiming for, and I'll go over that why I kind of make up for that critical hit damage though with the extra skill power that I have from it. So go to my gloves real quick. These gloves I've had for a long time because they're only item level 30, so it's not something I crafted. These are actually something I picked up. But I love these because this is the talent I think to have on the gloves. My favorite one. Savage. Anytime a target is not taking cover, I'm going to have 13% extra critical hit damage. So on my submachine gun, that takes me about to 56.5. So that's almost max critical hit damage or critical hit chance against targets out of cover, which is a lot of them during the challenges, when you're fighting people, anything. And then also on these gloves, I have basically everything that I wanted on them. It gives me plus 6% critical hit chance, 34% critical damage, and then plus 369 submachine gun damage. So like, as I said, that just helps around my DPS. I'm getting extra damage on my submachine gun, more critical hit chance, added critical hit damage. It all adds up, with the other armor and other bonuses and stuff that I'm using. On my holster here, holsters are the only item I know of in the game, at least right now, that can roll with more than one base stat. And these are some ones I believe, this is a holster I believe I bought from the Phoenix vendor when he was selling it perhaps last week. But as you can see, I bought it because it has very high base stats in all three classes. 539 firearms, almost 600 stamina. That's with the stamina mod that gives me extra armor, and 502 electronics. And this also gives me bonus pulse critical hit damage, which is very nice. And so now I've gone over the armor and everything, all the different little things I have, and then I use a double barrel sawed-off as my sidearm because I find that very efficient. Say, if you run out of ammo when you're trying to kill another person in the dark zone, you can just bust out this double barrel right here, and as you can see, mine has the red, white, and blue stripes, and I like to call my shotgun America. America does work there. She's a nasty bitch. Anyway, back to real stuff. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch over for a minute here and talk about abilities and skill power and talents. And so the first thing I'll do is I'm just gonna show you an example of how skill power can affect your different things. So okay, right now I'm using the pulse with tactical scanner. So when you pulse someone, it's gonna mark any hostiles that are in your range, and when they are pulsed, it lasts for 25 seconds, and you get an increased critical hit chance with mine of 32.3%. The base of it is 16%, but with my added skill power and some of the different perks I have, it raises it to 32.3. And my critical hit damage goes up to, this is on top of the critical hit damage you're already doing. It gives you an extra 62.1% critical hit damage. And so all those little things that I sacrificed on my armor for having to get skill power over critical hit damage or critical hit chance kind of gets made up for here with the pulse. And then